Now, the next question I got was what questions to actually ask in a customer survey. Obviously, one of the great ways to write a hook and come up with a whole media plan is to actually survey your customers, survey your list. And a question I received is, well, what sort of questions should we be asking to make sure we get the best results when it comes to turning that survey into a press release? Well, a couple of good questions to get those juices flowing for you are things like, what's the biggest question you need answered about in this niche? So maybe if it's scuba diving, what are the biggest questions you have when it comes to learning how to scuba dive? You can take that answer and that can become a press release. The 3 biggest concerns when learning how to scuba dive. The 3 answers you must know before getting your scuba diving license. You can take those answers and turn it into those type of headlines. Another question can be, what's the biggest success you've had in this particular niche? What's the biggest success you've had whilst training your dog? And you can get answers back like, I found this was great, I found that the electronic collars were fantastic, I found the Pavlov's theory of giving them a cookie after they do the correct treat was a great learning and success I've had. And you can take that into a press release and again write the sort of number-based press release around the 4 top tips or the 4 easiest successes when it comes to training your dog. Those sort of things. Another great one is, what have your results been in the last 12 months? Or a subsequent question, what is the increase you've received in your whatever niche it might be in the last 12 months? So you can do a comparison type survey. For example, the average stock trader have increased their profits by 17% in the last 12 months. If you can get that sort of data. The average person on the Atkins diet has lost 6.7% body fat in the last 12 months. Whatever it might be, those sort of before and after type results make fantastic stories and hooks. And the 4th suggestion I've got for you in terms of doing a customer survey is, what's the biggest problem you've had in this niche? What's the biggest problem you've had when doing scrapbooking? Maybe your fingers are getting stuck together with the glue, or you find that you cut the photo in half by mistake and you ruin the only photo you had of your child's bar mitzvah or something like that. And this could be the 7 secrets or the 7 things to avoid when doing scrapbooking. That can be your press release angle. And you go on to talk about, you want to get duplicates of all your photos, only use photocopies of your most precious photos when doing scrapbooking, don't use the originals, and those sort of tips. It's almost the same sort of questions you go through if you're doing like a fly catcher type page. Now, for those of you who don't know what fly catcher is, it was a term that was actually created, I think, by Ed Dale and Frank Kern back in the underachiever days, way beyond the 30-day challenge and when all this sort of niche online marketing was just starting out. What they'd often do is do an AdWords campaign and send them to what they referred to as a fly catcher page, which is fundamentally a page where they got their email address, the person's name, and the biggest question, or a couple other questions, but primarily it was the biggest question they had that needed answering in that particular niche. They took all those answers, all those questions, made the answers up into an ebook, and then sold it back to the list that they built through that flycatcher page. So it's all about working out what the market needs and then giving that to them. Because what your end consumer needs is also what the media outlets need. Because they want those answers to entice people to pick up the magazine off the shelves, to buy that newspaper, to listen to the radio segment. Because it's those answers that are going to keep them coming back on a regular basis to become listeners.